Y'all know the vibes. We back. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Today, I'm here to talk to y'all about a tweet I sent out. It's an honest tweet. Something I thought about for a minute. If y'all don't know, this is Good Game Bro. One of the pioneers on Facebook gaming. 300,000 followers, as you can see right here. This is him playing Madden with Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a professional content creator, one that is well-rounded, and one that is respected, that plays multiple different games. So it's not just like a person that plays one game. Now this is the tweet, and I said, I really think Good Game Bro should be the level-headed ambassador for representing content creators to talk to Facebook. Now, let me tell you where this comes from. If you've been watching your Twitter feed, I already dropped a video on is Facebook losing the game war to Twitch? Is it losing the war? Now, that's only to speak on big content creators leaving the platform, putting their partnership down to go to Twitch or YouTube or the content create wherever. Now, I'm a diehard Facebook gaming person. I'm always gonna create content on here. I'm a partner on here. I got my start on here, and it's my home. It's my type of content because it's so personal. The reason why I say a Good Game Bro is because he has a big enough voice that people will hear him. He's connected with people at Facebook. I've seen him go through issues and his up and down ride with, problems with the platform and speaking out about it in a way where he's not losing his cool. And at the same time, he can see both sides. Now, this was his response, was, I appreciate the love, but to me, it's about the creators having a unified voice. It's easy to complain, but it's important for creators to work together and raise issues that impact us all. Creators have to stop viewing it as a competition and realize that a rising tide raises all ships. Now, where that comes from is there were content creators that were bigger when smaller content creators were complaining and saying, hey, we having issues, but they were big enough to not be affected. Now it's the situation where bigger content creators are being affected with the same issues that the smaller content creators, now realizing that everybody's in the same boat. Anybody could be, here today, gone tomorrow, so to speak. And that competition part is him understanding that dynamic. Now, I responded when I said, what do you think the biggest disconnect is between the creators that either have the voice or resources to change the platform, or between the platform decision makers and the content creators? I'm all about trying to fix what can be fixed before I start the blame game, because a lot of people will just say, oh, it's the platform, but they've never tried Twitch. They never tried Mixer when it was out. They've never experienced YouTube content, a vlog or offline content or highlights, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. All they do is just hit live. Now, that's not what we're talking about, because it can easily go into the blame game of the platform saying, hey, well, what do you do different? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you attended workshops? Have you did? Now, that's where it comes. That's the gray area. And that's what we are, and that's what we're trying to fix. It says it's complicated, honestly. Creators are, by nature, self-centered. The majority don't care to fight for issues that aren't necessarily impacting them because they view it as an isolated or a creator not being engaging enough with their audience. But when it impacts them, the alarm goes off. Now, that's what I've said. I can go into some content creators that absolutely cannot make content if the platform does not push them. I mean, low engagement, they don't interact with the audience, they don't have anything different for their supporters, or it's just literally play the game and the chat is there, but it's a disconnect. So it also, at the same time, a person gets big enough that they're not reading every comment, they're not reacting to every like or follow or stars or whatever, and then that becomes a weird dynamic. And what he's saying is exactly true, because by nature, A creator only sees it from their perspective or their situation or what they're going through. There are some content creators that aren't engaged enough with the audience, but there's also not the excuse that everybody who's struggling is not engaging, because there's some people that are extremely engaging that don't get pushed at times for whatever reason. And, you know, we're all trying to figure this out before we just say, oh, the platform's bad, or oh, this content creator's bad. And at the same time, he replied, creators have to sift through the complaints to see what's valid versus what actually is a creator not doing their job at engaging their community. Is complex. Now, I feel like that's where the partner managers or people that started Facebook, we know the names, but we're not going to say them. They do as much as what they can do, but if they get 100 complaints, how do they know which one is valid and which one is just a lazy content creator, like just needing a handout? He said, but still more creators have to work together, isolating and understanding those issues so they can be raised collectively to platforms. And here's where I agree with him. And at the same time, we have to put something together. It's not just on the platform. It's also on the content creators, us as a whole. When we created Vibe Nation, or when we got together with BLG and Rasta and all these different content creators and kind of formed a bond, that we try to be the voice. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, sometimes we may not be visible or big enough. People know who we are, but when it comes to Facebook, that's why I feel like when these issues were first happening, if you took the biggest names, Audio, Good Game Bro, these names, before it became this big of an issue, and there was the big dogs, and then there's the mid-level partners, and then there's the level up creators. If there was some kind of connect between the partner managers, Facebook gaming, and all that, to where, like, as a community we could say, yo, this is the issues that are the most pressing. That's why I felt like not to put that onus on one person, because he's got to get compensated if he takes that role. But as a community, it's got to be some kind of way, or this disconnect will never connect. They'll never know, like, what's the valid situation here? Like, do we really want to see all these great content creators get fed up, or just get to the point where they just, you know, run the Twitch or run the YouTube or whatever? I'm saying, when we're up and we got that viewership, yes, we should be diversifying at all times, but at the same time, right here on Facebook Gaming, there has to be some kind of link to where, okay, these are the valid issues, and we need some responsible people who are not going to be selfish, as he noted, that are going to be able to pass this along to Facebook. That way we all have confidence that these issues are being addressed. Because I think the number one problem that everybody on the platform has, we all know it's going to be issues and problems that come up. There are some people that are immature that don't understand that. But for the most part, it's the communication of knowing, like, that this situation is acknowledged and that we're all addressing it. Now, I've seen, like, the partner feed and a couple things like that have been very helpful. The Discord has been very helpful. But even still, you know, like, if it happens to one person, it can happen to anybody. And we just don't want this problem to snowball to where it's out of control, to where everybody gets to the point that they feel helpless and they feel like it's nothing that they can do. Because if we remember, you know, in that meeting, Good Game Bro will probably remember, the question I asked was, when will there be an in-person Facebook conference? Even with COVID and all that, I know it's kind of sketch. So, you know, have to err on the side of caution, because I don't go anywhere and I don't like to. But if everybody can put a name with a face and we can see who the players are and where to go, I think a lot of things that are issues that wind up getting big are small issues that just wind up going, like, unattended, because either the resources aren't there or we don't have any way to properly communicate between level up, to partner content creators, to paid content creators, to, like, the OGs who built the platform, who are the most visible, and between who are the decision makers at Facebook that will make this all make sense. Because it's something to what he said. creators have to stop viewing it as a competition. That comes because when you start seeing somebody getting opportunities or somebody's situation getting addressed, and because their situation is getting addressed and they're winning at that point in time, that this person's complaints or the struggles that they're going through, they go unnoticed, and that's where that tension comes from. Because in our community, we just watch Black Lion Gamers and Lil Chaos and Trifinite lose their page to hackers, and seeing Trav, a person with 60,000 followers, who's like a staple in our community, go through not having a page for 18 days and not knowing what was going to happen and having no communication. It put everybody on serve and everybody on notice that could happen to anybody. But we've been known that, and something got to be built, and we can't wait on Facebook to put it all together. I feel like the content creators have to get together and come up with something that, in one hand, we appreciate Facebook for everything and all the hard work that anybody does, but at the same time, it's got to be some kind of communication that goes between, so everybody gets on the same page, and we don't have this thing where this content creator is up and he doesn't acknowledge this content creator, and then this content creator goes up and this one goes down, and now he's dealing with the same problem he was dealing with or she was dealing with, and it just creates where the content creators are clashing and we're not dealing with the issues as a whole. So I appreciate Good Game Bro for responding to my tweets. They're honest tweets. I hope that we able to some kind of way get these situations resolved. We know it's not going to happen overnight, but it can happen in due time, because I'm a patient person, and I believe like anything that we have on this platform worth getting is going to take some time, because it's being built from the ground up. Also, before I get out of here, I want to acknowledge a lot of people, the VOD bonuses and stuff like that, and it's a lot going, even myself being affected, people not knowing. I just think we got to get the communication down, and once we get that communication down, then we'll be able to move forward as a platform in the most respected way, because we have a lot of great content creators on this platform, and I hate to see the best of the best leaving and moving and going on to other platforms.